I'm Helen Sarah. My maiden name is Joseph. My married name is Peters. I was born June 11th in 1929. So my birthday is coming up and I'll be 89. I was born Badoktoitlana. Badoktoitlana is a mission hill in Tanana. That was where I was born. My mother died with baby birth when I was about maybe 2. She had long brownish hair and she had a comb in her hand, and she didn't want me to comb her hair, but I started crying to comb her hair. So she gave me that comb. I was combing. That's my first memory. My father wouldn't talk about her. All he did was hold me, and tears would come down his face. He was a father and a mother to us. Bernice Stern, she delivered my brother when my mother died. She said my mother was bleeding so bad that there was nothing she could do. She was a deacon there, and my baby life was with her. And she always sang to me. She read the Bible to me all the time, and she taught me many things, how the church run. I remember she was watering the garden, and I was there watching her. There was a little bear, and I went into the garden. So she ran out there with a broom, chasing that bear out of the garden with a broom. To look at her and run away. Not afraid. My grandma Sarah, she was another teacher to me. She showed me many things, how to work, how to keep clean, how to scrub things. She told me, you wash those dishes. If you don't do it right, you'll do it again. Wash your towels after you use them. And she had taught me so much that I just took it in. She was 100 years old when she died. Love was taught to me through my father. What he did and what he said and how he treated his kids. My dad was a dancer, and he was a singer, and he made songs. And every morning he'd sing, and I would dance. 1st of June till September, everybody went out. Fish camp. My brothers would get up at 4, cut fish. Thousands. We just get 5-gallon barrels, blueberries, raspberries, cranberries they pick. Those willows, inside of it is aspirins. Aspirins come from that. And we used to take that because we need sweets. Get the sweetness out of it, off of that willow. Because of that hard work, we never went hungry. Never caught a cold. My father made snowshoes, sleds, and stuff. He was a very good cook, I remember. What he cooked for those boys, because they were woodcutters, they had to cut thousands cords of wood for the steamers, and that was my father's job. And I noticed every time my dad come off work, after he wash up, he'd come and pick me up and put me on his lap, and things would come back to him probably, and he'd cry. As I was getting older, my father took me out wood camp, wintertime. I didn't go to school. But when I get back, Deacon Stern, she'd catch me up what I've missed, you know. She had books, and I'm finished 8th grade. 1940 is when I remember the hospital, old hospital. Epidemic hit that village. Everybody was sick, a lot of death. They had 13 little babies lying up grave. The whole world seemed to just turn from one thing to another for me. 1942, wartime, my brothers were gone, 2 brothers were gone. They began to see a lot of drinking, began to see a lot of things that we should see. Money started coming. That's where men change. And my father drowned it. My best friend drowned it. My best everything. I thought, what am I going to do with my life? What's going to happen to me? I walk into the hospital, and that head nurse was sitting there, and I tell her I'm looking for a job. During wartime, you know, they're short of help. And she tell me, come tonight at midnight. Remember, I'm only 14. So I went there. So she started showing me around and showing me medicine, showing me patients, and how to dress to go into the TB wards. I had to wear a hat, mask, gown, boots, gloves. Gotta clean up the floors at night, what needs to be done. And when I start working at the hospital, the head nurse tell me, did you work before? I tell her, no, I worked for my grandma. You know, she say, well, she taught you well. I was up at the ward, and remember, I'm only 14. The nurses used to stay upstairs in the hospital, so I went up and told her, we have a OB patient. She said, well, get her ready. So I got her ready and helped her put her on the bed, and the nurse came down, and she told me, come. And so I went, and I saw the baby coming, and I fainted. So she put me in bed at one of the patients' beds. The nurse put me to bed, and I didn't wake up till next morning. Next morning I woke up at 8 o'clock, and I went to the nurse's station. I tell her, why did anybody tell me how baby was born? She said, I don't know, maybe nobody thought of it. Yeah. And so they put me in an OB room, you know, take care of things in OB room. instruments, sterilize them and everything. And every time baby is stillborn, or dead already, they gave it to me. The nurse would say, "What do I do with it?" The doctor would say, "Give it to her, she'll baptize it." So I did. So I baptized them, named the baby and baptized them and wrap them up and get them ready, whatever they do with them after. And my friend, Charlie Smith, he was a brother-in-law to my uncles. He told me, "I'll get you a job, Fairbanks." So we went up to Tanana in a boat, got on a train next morning, went to Fairbanks, went to work that night, and then that time they had this Wonder Bar, and everybody danced in it, and I used to like to dance. So I stopped at that place, and I saw this man over there. Don Anden, I met him. And then I was married. He was from Minnesota. And after my second child, he told me, "I don't want children." I told him, "What?" And of course I got pregnant again, and then he walked out. Then I took a plane home while I just went back to work there. Well, I was already trained nurse, and I knew where baby come from. Oh yeah, I was a trained cook too. I went to school for cooking, and I nursing jobs. And it was easy for me to go to work. And this is the funny part. Hardy Peters from Ruby, maintenance man in the hospital. Yeah, every day I saw him, but he had a lot of girlfriends and whatnot. And Saturday night I just loved dancing. So Saturday night, all of us went to dance. And anyway, these two girls were fighting. Me and another girl walked by, and I said, "What are you girls doing?" "Fighting. Somebody's going to win this guy." I said, "Oh, quit fighting over him. I'm going to marry him." Year later, I married him. I had 3 from him, and I adopted 2. 9 altogether. I decided I better do something with my pastime, so I took up church work. The bishop called and said, "Your family and you is going to go to Phoenix. I want you to continue." I tell him, "I don't know whether I could do that." I kind of thought of it off and on when the Lord said, "Do likewise." He meant for me to do likewise. That first year was really hard, and then in the meantime, my husband had brain cancer, and every day I ran 5 miles. I ran because I need to get rid of some of the stuff that I was, holding. Uh-huh. I had a girl. Marlene was born in May. And after Marlene, my husband died in August. When I had Marlene, doctors never talk about what happens in their work. And I was a bleeder. I'm a bleeder like my mom. But the head nurse was my friend. And she say, the doctors walked out because I died. And she had her head on my chest. And she said all of a sudden she heard that beating in there. And she tell me, what happened? I thought I dreamt. I dreamt I went to heaven. I walking on clouds, and the door opened, and there was a hand there with bread on it. And he told me, take, eat. This is my body. And the cup came out, drink. This is my blood. Then he pulled out and he said, do likewise. And he said, turn around, go back. I said, no. He said, look down. I looked, and I saw my kids. So I said, okay. So I went back, and she said, I felt my spirit went into my body. I thought I dreamt until she told me. I must have went to heaven back. So 1972, I was ordained as deacon. 2005, I became a priest. I pray for all the village every morning. I pray for my children and other children, other people's children. I would like them to live and trust the Heavenly Father. He can be their guide. You were born with the Spirit. It's in you. And that Spirit, when it wakes up, it starts letting him know, let you know many things. That is what I give to my grandchildren. To have a grandchild is even more love. It's special. I would like this song. Sechoya ka dotonisna. Sechoya ka joplete. Sioka hi-ho, 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 sechoya ka joplete. Hi-ho, 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 hi-ho. Joe, what's that love? He-oh, hey, he-ho, 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 he-oh, he, sechoyaka, he-ho, He,